Welcome, I'm Chase. In this first episode of the series, we will talk about common call center terminologies. The call center is an important point of contact where customers meet with the organization. They are important because customer calls or written requests to the organization are met here. Information, service, and complaint requests are managed here as well. It is often the front door of a business. A miscommunication can destroy the entire image of the business. The effective and efficient operation of the call center is one of the factors that determine the organization's stance towards the customers. Call center management may seem easy, but the math behind it is not that simple. Received calls have a certain process until they reach the agent. Managing this process well is only possible with the correct interpretation of call center mathematics. The customer is dialing the call center's number, then dialing in the IVR, reaching the representative, waiting during this call time after reaching, hold time, processing time, if any, survey dialing, and so on. All of these are processes that create an algorithm in itself. We will talk about each of these processes step by step. Let's start with definition of the call center and terms used in the call center. Call center. These are the centers where organizations carry out their communication with their customers by using all forms of contact, especially telephone, web, fax, email, etc. They are interaction centers consisting of software, hardware, human resources, and workflows. Although call centers' main job was to answer only calls at the beginning, it has now become the contact point of all customers. Call center, contact center, customer care. The most obvious difference between call center and contact center is the primary communication focus. There is a service based on inbound and outbound calls in the call center, but those days are behind us. Customers can reach the business through many channels. For example, a customer shopping on Instagram can write to a chat to ask a question about a product. As competition increases rapidly, service channels are also increasing. Therefore, call centers are transforming. Now, omni-channel services are carried out. Let's start with the beginning now. A call center is a department serving incoming and outgoing calls from and to customers. Traditional call center agents are customer service representatives who answer customer calls. However, they can also provide other services, such as telemarketing, debt collection and billing, or other organizational functions. Call center operations can be located within an organization or delegated to an outsourced call center that is specialized in this field. Turning into an omnichannel strategy, call centers interact with customers through multiple channels like written communication channels, phone calls, applications, chat, email, social media, and the web. Ideally, all these channels where the customer comes into contact with the institution are monitored on an integrated screen. Call centers are also named according to the place and type of service. Outsource. It is the service provided by specialized call centers on behalf of the main service providers. Customers are welcome and necessary service is provided on behalf of the main company. Here, the process proceeds with call center employees. Project-based employees are also referred to as call centers. Insource. In this type, the call center is established within the main company to provide its own services. Call center personnel are the employees of the institution itself. Offshore. It is the call center service that is far from the main location of the business, maybe in a different country. A customer representative is called an agent in the call center. It is used for the person who receives incoming and outgoing calls. Some other terms used for the agent are customer service officer, telephone sales and service representative, operator, account manager, team member, and customer service professional. Inbound calls. It is the name given to incoming calls in the call center. The calls coming to the call center by the customers are called inbound calls. Outbound calls. It is the name of the operation where agents call customers for certain activities related to sales, complaints, information, satisfaction surveys, information updates, etc. An outgoing call is called an outbound call. Offered calls. The forwarded call is the sum of the calls to the agent group according to the dialing result after the exit point of the IVR. Automatic call distribution, or ACD in short. The main switchboard performs the most important function in call centers. After the exit of the IVR, this exchange distributes the calls to an agent queues according to certain rules. This call distributor is called automatic call distribution, or ACD shortly. Interactive voice response, or IVR in short. It is a voice command system. It is mostly referred to as an answering machine in daily language, but actually it is a guided system with pre-recording announcements. With this guided system, the customer dials and talks to the desired unit. Handled calls. Refers to the total calls answered by the agent. Abandoned calls. Indicates missed calls. In other words, these are the calls that are queued in the automatic call distribution but hanged up by the customer before being answered. During the outgoing automatic calls, if the customer answers but is not connected due to the lack of available operators, this hangout is also counted as abandoned call. Talk time. It is the call center name of the call duration, indicating the time spent by the agent talking to the caller during the call. After call work, or ACW in short. It is an abbreviation for post-call operations. It is a state for the agent. If there is a task to follow at the end of a call, an email to be sent, and a different phone to be contacted, agent dials in ACW. It is the state where the agent performs the subscriber operations after the call is finished. These tasks can be data entry, filling out forms, or making external calls. In this state, the agent cannot answer another incoming call, but it is limited to a certain time to use. Hold time. It is the waiting time for the customer in the agent's line. Average call handling time, or ACHT in short. It covers the time from opening to closing. It shows how long the transactions take on average in a call center. This period covers the processes of talking on the phone, holding the caller, and post-call processing. Answering rate, or shortly, AR, indicates the call response rate. Displays the total rate of calls answered by all agents in the operation. It is the ratio of the calls answered by the agent to the total number of calls received by the agent. Service level, or SL. It is the rate that shows what percentage of incoming calls are answered in the target time. Usually, the goal is to answer 80% of calls within 20 seconds. If this call rate decreases and the second increases, then top managers of the call center start to alarm. SL is very important for call centers because the companies which they serve measure their performance and success with the SL apart from customer satisfaction. Average speed of answer, or ASA. Don't confuse this metric with service level. ASA displays the average call answering speed. It refers to the average time it takes for all calls to be answered after waiting in the queue. Does not include missed calls. It is a performance data in seconds. Shows how long on average all answered calls to an ACD queue wait before being answered. Average time to abandon, or ATA. It is the average waiting time for missed calls. It is the ratio of the waiting time in the queue until the calls are dropped to the total unanswered calls. Queue refers to the calls in the queue waiting to reach the agent. Max queue This metric shows the maximum number of customers waiting in the queue at the same time. Available time. It is the total time that agents stand by to answer the call. Login. It is the state when the agents log into the system to meet the call. Log out. It is the state when the agents exit the system. Staff time. It is the total time that the agent has logged in to provide service. It covers the time between login and log out. Some different names can be used for these terms within call centers, but the logic of the basic terms does not change. As a call center manager, it is necessary to learn these terms, to have a good command of the system and interpret reports correctly. Thanks for watching our first episode. Make sure you watch our next one about basic call center metrics.